Boy, we got a lot of projects going on right now. That's the floating shelves, and I just finished up this guy, which I am really pleased with how it turned out. This was just like scrap wood and made it into a mallet. It was a pretty simple project. It was really quite easy. And boy, does it look slick. I gotta put some paste wax on it. I shaped the handle myself. I mean, it's not like perfect, but it's more than good enough. And this thing is massive. I bet it weighs 3 pounds. I mean, it's pretty heavy. Lots of end grain on it, so it should last a while. And then it was made of maple, walnut, and then the wedge is cherry. Just, you know, the 3 classics. But the real reason I'm doing this is because we can get a little Sweet Stuff Saturday in, which we haven't done in a while. Not because we haven't had topics, but because we have been sick as a dog. So the two knives we're talking about today are these 2 knives. This one is the Giant Mouse Riv. This one is the Giant Mouse Riv. One is made by Lionsteel, this one, and one is made by Reate, this one. And I will tell you right now, the Reate one is a better made knife. There is just no question about it. Every single thing that is nice is just a little nicer here. So for example, look at the inside on the choil. The choil here is almost polished on the inside. Now, of course, this is a blasted coated blade, so you're not going to get that same level, but just not anywhere near as nice. This is okay. This is really quite good. The jimping up here is much more subtle. It's not less effective. It's just more subtle than the jimping is on the Lionsteel. The action on the Lionsteel, I mean, you can get it to flip. This one flips. You can hear the difference. This one has a much crispier detent. So there's that. There's that. This is a frame lock with an LMAX blade. And this is a liner lock with a MagnaCut blade. Now, the question is, which one would you keep? So I have both of them, and I got both of them so I could try this out and figure out which I liked better. If I had the MagnaCut blade with the Reate finish, it would be a no-brainer. But the LMAX, and I'm not a huge fan of the micarta, and I don't like liner lock or frame locks. I prefer a liner lock. The MagnaCut liner lock is just a smidge better. I'm going to keep it a little bit longer and figure out how it breaks in and see if this pivot gets loose. It did start to get a little loose, and I tightened it down. This thing has never, ever budged. Not a scintilla. Like nothing. I got nothing on this thing, ever. Really, really, really well-made knife. Just Reate crushing it. Lionsteel's not in the same league. It's never been much of a dispute, but it's always been hard to say, like, what is the difference? And the difference really is the fit and finish. All of the touches on the Reate knife are just better. The detent's better. The pivot is better. The chamfering and the rounding is better. You know, the blade finish is really hard to compare because they're 2 different blade finishes. But the knife overall, this knife overall, is just a better knife than this one. And then the question is, does the liner lock and blade steel overcome the fit and finish? I will say that this knife is, you can flip it, but it's not quite the flipper that the MagnaCut is, and that might be a deal breaker for some people. But I never really use this knife as a flipper. I always use it as a front spider flick knife. But you can really do it quite easily in here. The detent is a little hard on this one. I like crispy detents, so it's not a big deal. But for some people who expect like no-brainer flipper action, you might be disappointed. But if you have like if you have some idea that the knife with a flipper is going to have a harder detent, then this is the knife for you. I will tell you, when I first tried to flip this one, it fail fired because the detent is really soft. Really, really, really soft. And I'm not sure if that's a flaw or if that's just a preference. But now that I know that the detent's soft and it's not a push flipper, but a pull flipper, you know, you can just sort of, yeah, you can get it to go. You might need a little wrist action, but as a spider flick, you're going to get this thing every time. It's just super duper solid. This spider flick's nice too. It's just the detent is pretty crispy. See, there you go. So I'm not sure which one I'm going to keep, but I wanted to show you a comparison between the two. It's really remarkable. I mean, Lionsteel makes decent knives, but they don't make great knives. Reate makes great knives. And this is one of them. So that's an overview of a quick comparison between the Lionsteel made Riv and the Reate made Riv. And we'll see you later.